Hello, hello. So as you can see, I reinstalled Lost Ark and I logged in yesterday after more than 2 years. It was April 19th, 2023, I think. Last login before yesterday. And from the previous video you could know what happened, the incident, the disaster, you could say. But uh that freed up some space, I suppose, on the drive. So I thought, hey, let's try to turn it into something positive, if you could call logging back into Lost Ark positive. But I am very careful about not being sucked back into the the full timed events every hour, and then dailies and weeklies and all that stuff. Trying to be there for everything, or not being worried about not missing out on something. So I'm just gonna play for fun. And let me just log into here so that things make a bit more sense. So far I was at like 1522.5 item level, and I was thinking about whether or not I should be using the pass on my main or use it on a different character, or maybe try to bring up an entirely new class. As you can see, there is there are these: Sork, Shadowhunter, Berserker, Scrapper, Claver, and yeah, I thought that I could be cute and keep these in storage and make characters here, but apparently that doesn't work. I would need to get character slot extensions, which I'm not gonna do. So and the power pass put me to 1585, and then I honed some stuff from the event mats, and yeah. So now I'm thinking about whether or not I should be deleting one of these and then bring out an entirely new one. I think if I delete, so like I'm thinking either delete one of these and then try to bring up a new one, or I just use the pass on one of these, because I have the paladin and it can do some solo stuff with the DPS setting, but I think I would also want to have an actual DPS that I can use. So it's probably just gonna be paladin for support, and I wanna get the DPS here. But Valkyrie is the new class, so obviously that's also kind of tempting. But let's just log into this one. Loading screens are pretty long because it's on a hard drive, not the SSD. SSD is pretty full at the moment. So like any loading screen that's like really time sensitive. Obviously it feels bad to have long loading screens, but it's not as bad if I don't worry about getting to the time when the events start, worrying about the schedule. but yeah, it's definitely not ideal. Long loading screens. I just wanna actually log in so you can see where I'm at the moment. My inventory is a mess because I'm not sure how. Okay, these. As you can see, I don't really have much gold. At least these are kind of nice. Like the honor pouches are pretty good. All right, roll it sold. Obviously, these days this is nothing. That amount of FE, not FE. What the heck? Gold. I keep calling everything FE because of Torchlight. Alright, let's get out of here. So yeah, my inventory is a mess. All the gems here can't be dismantled. I don't know if I could just, you know, delete everything because I have what I got. So like there's like two battle styles, right? Like battle style gives like these here. It gives the 5 gems, but the event, the Challenge Express, this one gives the 7s. And I'm not entirely sure how this goes. So like this one gave, you know, the items. But then like, if I go back and forth, like let's say for example I swap, does that mean that I'm just gonna, you know, get other copies? Because yeah, like these are duplicates, right? Because one, I got it from the battle pass, but then when I use the, you know, battle style, then I got it again in the Challenge Express battle style. So like when I clicked this, I got the items. So like I don't know if I swap here. So like does it fill up my inventory every time when I swap or not? Like obviously if I get back into the game, then I will want to actually use the Paladin as a support. Like once I actually get back into the tempo of group stuff. But obviously for now when I'm doing solo stuff, I'm just, you know, trying to catch up, do the event stuff. Then I will want to use the solo. Like this is solo, this is solo, this is solo, this is solo. And this one is the first one that's actually a raid. So yeah. So far I didn't check what's going on here, because like there's I try to, you know, learn what's going on with practice. So like I know that the gaze stuff, you shouldn't run into this because it drops you to 1 HP. But I'm not entirely sure if I'm supposed to, you know, not face it, because like intuitively I would think, right, the gaze, I probably should, you know, turn my, you know, face away from it. I could just, you know, check if it only brings you down to 1 if you actually run into it. And then the other part is when the crystals have to light up, and that's when you can deal damage. Otherwise the buff on the boss is, you know, making you deal like 99% reduced damage, stuff like that. So yeah, I completed this, and like this is more or less this is enough to bring here. So I'm assuming that once I do this, it should be enough, you know. Oh, that's very nice. It should be enough to, you know, bring me up to the next one. Like this one's pretty OP. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Vitality. And yeah, so this is the profile. all this XP is also from the XP stuff potion that you get from the event pass or the Challenge Express thingy. You get combat XP potion, which is nice because when I left it was 60 max level. Now it's 70. I kind of wanna get the skill points. This I'm gonna be able to upgrade once I actually get to the you know, event thingy. So yeah, like I'm not really gonna you know, go into gameplay in this video because obviously that would just make it super long for no reason. And I'm pretty sure you've seen stuff. And also I'm not very confident in in using these properly. Because it's like you have the thingy, right? Then you get on the engraving here, right? Enlightenment. So like you take the judgment, then it's just you're only using the blue skills, so you put all the blue skills on the bar, I presume, and then you just, you know, deal some damage, and then it's fine. So yeah, obviously with a more than 2-year gap, there are obviously the main things are the same, as like also, you know, have been changes to the systems and that I'm, you know, getting used to, and just in general, just navigating everything is, you know, and you know how it is when you are doing something for like basically many hours per day, every day, for a certain amount of time, and then you stop for 2 years, more than 2 years, and then you come back. It's like obviously it's gonna be a little it's gonna take a little time to get used to stuff. Also, there's a Mokoko buff here, and the 1660 or after a certain amount of time passes. So obviously, ideally, this lasts until it's like more than a month in it. So in that time, I should be able to, I mean, hopefully get everything. But I'm like the solo should be okay, but I don't know about the last one. Anyways, I'm probably just gonna, you know, quote unquote cheat and look at videos, because there's the part when, you know, the boss just stands on top and I look around and I don't really see any, you know, indicators or anything to activate, anything to destroy, anything, and it just stands there, and you see that it's like a big long damage. It's like you know that you're gonna get wiped when the boss finishes the charge up, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to do there to stop that. So I might be, you know, checking out some videos, and then I'm sure it's gonna be very obvious once that happens. So yeah, I mean, that's the idea. And then ideally, if I get like 1640, right? And there's another event here that can like push me even further. So yeah, probably better idea would be, you know, just keep the main maybe as is, and you could, you know, use a pass on a different character. And then if you care about lore, which I kind of do, like I wouldn't have minded necessarily the going through the MSQ, but for that you also need to hone, and yeah, that's the annoying part. So I just thought, hey, let's just, you know, skip it. So that means that there is like a bunch of areas that I have absolutely no idea about. Where is Dome? Yeah. So Southburn, okay, I did not, you know, finish this because I'm missing one or two stuff. Rowan, you know, I guess I didn't even, I guess I didn't complete anything. I completed one, I have one of these. So yeah, I barely even did anything there, and then there's Agasia and Wallis and Kurzan, and then there's like, so yeah, like there is still stuff to come. But I guess I can, you know, check back some of it, even though the quests are completed. Like some of them might be still useful. Cute. So I assume that these are rotated through as I, you know, progress through. So yeah, I mean, I guess I did kind of miss out a bunch of stuff, but you know, it would be time that I don't know if I wanna use for that. So I don't know. I mean, I probably missed out on something, but with the way how it, you know, completes certain quests and whatnot when you use the pass, like you're probably missing out on something unless you do. So like that is something that you can do. I think that you're like, you make a character and you don't, you know, don't select anything. You don't leave the starting area when you know, when you create a character, and there's the, you know, the place before it beams you into the actual world of the game, and then you stay there before the selection between like the options between the two, or like on, you know, the base character, and you have to, it's like basically, for example, you get the dude here and then you have to choose between, like, let's say paladin and warrior, that kind of stuff. But I think if you just stay there and then you pass the character, use the pass on the character there, then it's not gonna be, you know, messing with the quest, and then you can go and do it with the other character. Because like once you complete the missions, like some missions, then not everything is, you know, repeatable. Like you can just pick it up necessarily from the beginning and play it through yourself once you actually pass that point. So yeah, this is what's going on, and yeah, we'll see how much I'm gonna do. Ooh, playtime. Oh. Yesterday I was not trusted, so I don't know what changed. I mean, I'm pretty sure my Steam account should be trusted if that's the requirement. Anyways, yesterday it said, you know, requires trusted, and it's not available. But today it's available, so I guess that's nice. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll see if we'll see how I'm gonna use up the other pass, right? Because I used the one that you get, but there should be one more somewhere here. Yeah, South Korean Power Pass here as well. So if I understand it correctly, that should let me use it on another one. That I should have 2 higher level characters that manage to catch up. I'll probably, you know, look at some, you know, gameplay, some content with certain classes, and then decide if I'm gonna use it on one that I already have, or if I'm gonna delete one and make a different one. But I'm probably just gonna be, you know, sitting on 2 that I'm gonna play and not really worry about the other stuff, because I've heard things have changed in that regard. Not as pressing. So yeah. Okay. And these are all already gold agreement recipe, some upgrade materials, XP penalty will apply. So I'm probably gonna, I did it like this one yesterday, and then there was also, it was also from the thingy. It was also from the solo challenge, the challenge express, where he was the Watan. I'm probably gonna do Vikas just for fun, because that's the raid that I actually did. And by the time Clown came out, I wasn't I was already kind of burnt out, so I didn't even bother about it that much. And now I come back, and now we are so much ahead. And all of these, like, you know, solo wallets, pretty cool. But yeah, it seems like there's a bunch of fun stuff, and I'm not gonna really worry about, you know, missing out on things. Like stuff here, for example. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for real this time. Alright, bye bye.